Miki Endo.
You've been a nanny for quite some time.
Yes.
It pays $4,000 a month. And you would live in the guest quarters for free.
What is all this talk about an assistant or a nanny lately?
We talked about making our lives easier.
Dr. Langley wants me to avoid stress.
For asthma? What is going on?
You're bleeding.
Oh my gosh, Grace, you need to sit down. You have to put the pressure here though, so that it stops
Miki,
bleeding.
please.
I got it, okay? Thank you. Just retire for the evening.
Grace, are you in any pain? Your chest doesn't hurt, your throat, your stomach.
Why?
Dr. Langley is one of the most respected physicians in his field. And if I believed everything I saw here, you wouldn't be seated in front of me now.
What do you suggest?
Whether it's in this life or our next, inner peace must be sought.
How are Augie and Michael taking this?
They don't know yet.
When did you plan on telling them, Grace?
I don't. We're going to have more time together. It's very good. Miki's going to help with the transition.
Transition to what?
Why are you putting me in this situation? Because I need you. I can't do.
It's not the length of our lives that matter, but the depth of our life is the most important.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for SAROGETO, streaming right now on all digital platforms. Go check it out after you watch this interview. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Joining me to talk all things SAROGETO is the writer as well as the director. I have Nico Santucci. Hello, sir.
Hey, Kuya. Hey, Kuya. How you doing, man?
I am wonderful. Thank you for your time. As a fellow creative filmmaker, I know how much hard work and dedication it is to get our projects out here. So I just want to salute you and your entire team and cast for making this now available to even many more, with it being on all the digital platforms now. So congratulations, sir.
Oh, thanks, man. As you know, it is. They're labors of love. I mean, if you don't love it, you can't be in the game, really, because listen, this is the only gig where cats will work 14, 16 hours a day and not complain. Exactly. That's because we love the craft.
Well said. Well said. Love that. And for you, when I was doing a little bit of research, you've got a business. You have Black Door Global. You have Capos. You've been doing your thing for quite some time. I'm curious to start into this project. Where did this come from? When did you decide to become a writer filmmaker and put your foot forward and express yourself creatively through this film? How did this all start for you?
You know, the funny thing is, most of the other things you mentioned, Black Door Global, real estate investment company, I own restaurants, I built a plethora of nightclubs and trophy properties. Those actually were detours to my destiny, which was writing and filmmaking. I mean, from the time I was a kid, I was a creative. You know, and at that time, when you're 8 or 10 years old, you can't really manifest that into something that your folks will listen to you about how you're going to earn, right? So I got into being a hustler in Chicago, followed my dad, and just sort of built it like that, brick by brick. But I always knew that my calling was in something really creative. And then when I started to develop properties and ambient experiences and restaurants and nightclubs, I realized that people really enjoyed the experiences I created. So for me, there were only so many brick and mortars I could do before I said, wait a second. There's got to be a better way to reach a grander audience with my visions, right? So I thought filmmaking is the opportunity that I need to reach out to the world and tell stories. And that's really how I got into writing SAROGETO. Painstaking story to write, as you saw. I mean, this is a deep story about really heavy subjects. And I don't pretend to understand everything a woman goes through in that situation. But I met with a lot of people who were struggling in similar areas, and I met with a ton of the Japanese culture, and I had a cultural director on set to make sure I wasn't going out of the lines, man. The one thing I wanted to do was to be true to the story and the Japanese stoicism that the story is told through. I never wanted to fuck up and go out of the lines.
Wow. And first off, thank you for sharing your journey into filmmaking. I love that as a fellow creative filmmaker, because it just says never to give up. No matter how old or what you're doing, you can always get to that part that just makes you feel all the feelings, right? And filmmaking does that for me as well. So I love that that is what you never got rid of, and you made it here. Congratulations. So yeah, we need a film just on you. I need the Nico Santucci film. I need the biopic on Nico Santucci.
I don't find that film very interesting, but a lot of my peers and the people that work in my organization are always talking about that. But everybody thinks they got the greatest baby picture, right? Truth of the matter is, to a global audience, maybe it's interesting, maybe it's not. It's hard for me to say. I'm inside the looking glass. But I suspect when people look at my life, they think, wow, that's quite a journey from a hood in Chicago. My dad was a hood. And somehow I found my way out of that city, came west, started in LA, got to Vegas, and had some great success in both of those cities.
Respect. I'll just say I want to eventually see that, Nico, whether you're doing it or somebody else, or even if I get inspired as a creative to write it up myself, because this is just...
Hey, man, be my guest. I'd love that.
I love that. Awesome. Well, so you decided to do SAROGETO, your entry into this space. Why this story? And you touched upon it, and I really appreciate that as a fellow Asian American, that you decided you really wanted to make sure the cultural elements are right, and you sought advisors to help make sure it was right. But why this story? And as you said, you're not a female, and you want to make sure you get the women's voice right. But why something so deep and so emotional for this first delivery? And how long did it take you to develop this project?
Well, it took me a couple of years to write it, to be honest. It took a minute. I mean, there's a lot of detail that went into this, medical detail, cultural detail. And, I've been producing films for some time. As a producer, as you know, you're looking at bottom lines, you're looking at casting characters and determining viability of each of those projects. And much of what came across my desk was very right. Really, frankly, I'm not really into bank robber films or car chases. None of that stuff. As a producer, it appeals to me because there's a massive audience for it. As a viewer, a spectator, I always want something with some layers, man. I got to have some feels going through it. And so I knew I wanted to write a story that was heavy, and I've always been fascinated with the Japanese culture. There's so much about that culture we can learn from. And with as old as a culture it is, as Westerners, we can learn a lot from those folks, man. The simplicity of how they live their lives, the stoicism of the way they look at things, being a burden on families. And this film deals with that a lot, about not wanting to burden one's family. And Grace, our main character, that's her primary objective. How can I get through this crisis without affecting my loved ones? And the journey she takes to get there is profound.
I love it. I love it. I cannot wait to dig in. And let me remind everybody again, on all digital platforms right now, go check out SAROGETO and let Nico know what you feel. I'm gonna put all of his links in the description.
I want to
below.
hear everybody's thoughts on it. I mean, this is a heavy subject. There's going to be contradictory points of view on it. I expect that, and I want that. This is a topic that needs talking about. These are things that we need to make some big decisions on.
Definitely. So hit my man Nico up in the comments below. Again, I'll put all his socials there, but also please go watch this film and let Nico your thoughts. So you put this together. Again, you're making your first film, although you've been in the game as well, producing other projects. What was it like, though, being the captain of the ship, though? Now you're writing, you're directing, and now you're bringing all these people in. Can you tell me about the production and this amazing cast that you put together, and this, this beautiful woman you have as your lead, all of the actors you have involved? If you can speak on the production and your cast, sir.
Yeah, I mean, casting was one of the more difficult parts of making this film. Obviously, these two beautiful female Asian leads were difficult to find because with as many pretty Asian girls that are out there, I needed some real layers of emotion. And Ikumi Yoshimatsu, when she came in to cast, we cast in Los Angeles. She came in and walking through the door, we could see the story resonating with her. She only had a few minutes. She had probably a half an hour in the weight room to kind of go through the pages. And then she told us a story about her mother and a personal relationship she had that resembled the script. So for her, much of it was organic. I mean, the first rehearsal she did, she hit it over the fence. I mean, we all sort of we scratched our heads and said, here she is. And we'd seen 100 girls. I mean, she wasn't the first, but she was the last for the lead because we knew immediately. Not only that, she's stunning. I mean, she was Miss Japan. I mean, sort of unexpectedly beautiful and talented. So we were very lucky to meet with her, discuss the role, talk about the arc of the character for me. And she was down with bringing it all, and she brought it every day. She was one of the most dedicated workers I've ever seen in any endeavor.
Awesome. Awesome. Also, I'd be remiss to not talk about my friend. I've had him on and along with his wife, Eric Roberts. Shout out to the legend, Eric Roberts. What was it like working with him and having him involved as the surgeon?
Well, you having met Eric, you know, there's a lot on the bone there with Eric. I mean, as a director, you sort of block the scenes and you've got an idea how you're going to shoot a scene and how many cameras and what angles you're going to. Eric walks in the door and all changes. He starts telling you where to capture him. He's got looks that he likes, but he knows his good looks and he knows the ability he can bring. So I found it giving him freedom gave me some great success on the dailies. So I just had to sort of unleash Eric, and every time he delivered.
Wonderful.
He's really remarkable.
And his lovely wife, just they're the best.
They're inseparable, and she's just amazing. I saw her recently. She had a film role that I was watching Amazon, and there she was. And she's just she's very special also. Great people. Simple people. Yes. Good people.
Yes. So putting this project together, how long was the production? What did you I like to ask this specific question because as a filmmaker, and I'm sure you know, there's a lot of lessons learned. Like, certain things make it, certain things you got to cut due to time or just, finances, just everything happens and you got to adjust when you're creating. Can you tell me the production, and was there anything that didn't make it or you want, that you had hoped or you had to switch around for those that also may have already seen the film as well already? Yeah,
I mean, as you know, you're always rethinking every daily, right? You're always saying, shit, I should have used a 14 millimeter. I should have, you get caught up in lenses as a director, right? Because they all represent such a specific look. And when you're shooting it, for me, I really got into that 14 millimeter lens. I used it a lot. And I also was tight a lot. When you get a chance, you're going to see the different lens choices through the film. And you sort of fall in love with them, really. The look, and it represents a vibe. So that was a learning curve as to not to get caught up in each look and want to make sure everything was balanced. I think also the first couple of weeks of the production, I was a first-time director, so not everybody on set had a tremendous amount of respect for me, understandably, right? Here I am, this guy who's never really I've produced a bunch, never directed any. So I think a lot of the crew begins to feel you're sort of grandizing, if you will. And it takes you a few days, but Lord knows, after a week, I was their savior and hero. I mean, because I really was committed to the project, and I really allowed everybody the freedom to do what they do best. I wasn't micromanaging, maybe a little bit with the DP. As a director, you want to choke out your DP to get exactly what you want, but everybody else had such freedom on the set. And I was really open to ideas. And that's how I gained the respect of my crew. And I'd say for the most part, it was pretty smooth sailing. I mean, obviously, is there a day where it rains and you're looking for sun? And, and I was looking for the golden hour throughout the production. Yeah. So we were chasing sunset. Those are technical things, but by and large, My cast was amazing. They were diligent. They knew their lines. Winsor Harmon, he's just spectacular. I mean, I'd watched him on television for decades, and I was a fan. He's such a handsome, he's that Western, all-American, businessman. And he just alluded that on film, and I thought he made my life easy. Winsor could just walk through any scene, one take Charlie, and we were just like, cut, moving on, every time with Winsor.
Love
Spectacular.
it. Love it. Shout out to Winsor.
He's the man.
Definitely. So it didn't push you away from your first project. It did it make you fall in love again with the creative process?
As you know, you probably feel the same. After 4 days directing, you know this, right? I said to everyone in my immediate sphere, I'll never do anything again but direct, because it's such an aphrodisiac.
Oh yeah.
Right. I'm a bit of a control freak in my personal life. So as you know, as a director, you sort of get to call all the shots, and particularly when you're telling a story you feel strongly about, calling the shots is imperative. Because if I see a scene a certain way and somebody wants to contribute a different energy to the scene, I'm like, wait, that's not how I see it at all. And it really throws you off balance. So you have to really dig your heels in as a director and see your vision through, so you don't have any excuses later, blaming a DP or blaming a third AD who didn't corral the extras the way you wanted them to. You really have to dig your heels in the sand as a director. And I love doing it.
I love that. Completely agree. But also, I would say this, because you wrote this film as well. When you were then, after, post, having to maybe cut, chop certain stuff up. Did that hurt? Or were you,
man, come on.
Lesson learned from that.
You're touching a vein now, that, because sounds like you've been in that situation.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is sitting in post, looking at the dailies and trying to assemble this thing. There's so much good stuff. And there's so much stuff that doesn't really fit with the words, and you're just trying to make it all. And for me, when you get a chance to enjoy SAROGETO, you'll see very little dialogue in this film. I tell it with pictures. And so there were so many beautiful pictures you want to include, but it begins to feel gratuitous, right? Now, who am I doing it for? For me or for the film?
Yeah.
So you got to take yourself, put yourself aside, your ego aside. So I don't need that beautiful golden hour, seeing that sun pitch down over the ocean. It's stunning, but it doesn't have a place here.
Yeah.
So you have to leave some of that beautiful stuff that you captured that cost a fortune to capture. You got to leave it alone, leave it on the editing floor.
I feel that. Definitely feel that.
That's tough to do, man.
Yeah.
I felt like I could make a movie with what we cut. You cut so much, and it's such pretty stuff. Because we were really going after looks throughout the film. So the looks were everywhere. You'll see when you get a chance. I'd love to hear your opinion after taking a look at it.
Definitely. I'll share them with you, Nico. Again, congratulations on this film. I see that you won quite a bit of awards on the festival circuit, but it's now, again, everybody on all digital platforms right now. So after you're done watching this interview, go watch the film and shout out my man, Nico Santucci.
Shout me out. Let me know what you think, good or bad, man, because we're making more movies. I need input.
Let's go. Definitely. So to close us out, Nico, again, congratulations on this film. I'm going to put all the links in the description below so people can reach out to you. Is there anything that you want to also, I know you're, doing obviously the press promo for this film right now, but anything else we could put a light on to have people, keep their eye out, especially if they've already seen this film, to see what you have next coming up along the pipeline?
Well, I'm working on a Natalie Wood film right now, which takes place offshore, off the shore of Catalina, about the last tragic 72 hours of her life. Another very dark story. I don't know if I'm compelled to this dark stuff, but it touches me, So if people are touched by SAROGETO, I'd like them to tell me that they were touched by it, because this is what works for me, and I'm hopeful it resonates with a much larger audience. And so those inputs would be very helpful.
Definitely.
And if ever in Vegas, hey, I opened Capo's 20 years ago. It's one of the greatest Italian restaurants in this country. If you like old school Italian, I'm not trying I'm not here to pump up a restaurant, but it's also a labor of love. Stop in, say hello, try some lasagna, or I've got a Capo's Pizzeria also, separate location in Vegas. The best thin and crispy Chicago-style pizza in the country.
Love it. That was going to be another parting question, because I am looking with my family to head out to Vegas to meet up with a couple other friends out there very soon. So
Love to have you, man.
Gotta come
Look
through
me up
Capo's.
anytime. Come see me.
I shall. Nico, a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so
Again,
much.
such an inspiring story of yours. And like I said, I might have to write the Nico Santucci story, because of just everything I've read.
I'm on board.
And then inspiring.
You got my support.
I love it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Nico, thank you so much for your time. Again, congratulations to you and your entire cast and crew on this film. I cannot wait to see what you're going to do next, as well as see this film as well, and I'll let you know my thoughts. But again, congratulations.
Thank you, my man.
Such a labor of love that we do
Enjoy
this.
the movie when you get a chance.
Definitely. Everybody, the amazing Nico Santucci, SAROGETO, available right now on all the platforms. Links in the description below. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. All right, there's a cut, Nico.
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Yeah. Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world. Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Awesome. Kuya P, Nerds Rule the World. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
Nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like Nerds Rule the World. Like, I want more Black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerds Rule. Love
it. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julie.
Yes, Nerds Rule. Yes,
rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
absolutely.
And you're right. Nerds do rule the world.
We're just the best.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Nerds so much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
It's your boy Kuya P. Nerds Rule the World. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
Do. They rule the world all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys. All right, let's have some fun in a 1, 2, 3.